Today, I booked the next 5 years of Penta's WWE career. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you want to support the channel even further, feel free to join as a channel member. Without any further ado, let's take a look at a potential 5-year journey for Penta in WWE. In the summer of 2025, Penta continues his steady rise through the mid-card, racking up wins and building momentum as the year rolls on. In September, he enters a heated feud with the arrogant Australian, Grayson Waller. After Penta defeats Waller cleanly on an episode of Raw, the loss doesn't sit too well with the self-proclaimed Aussie icon. At a WWE live event in Mexico, Waller blindsides Penta with a brutal kendo stick assault after his match with Xavier Woods, and would proceed to boast about the attack the following week on Raw. Waller claims to have humiliated Penta in front of his home crowd. The following week, Penta challenges Grayson to settle things at Crown Jewel in Waller's home nation of Australia. Despite being on home turf, Waller is showered with boos, while Penta receives a hero's welcome from the Aussie crowd. The two deliver a standout match, but it's Penta who gets the last laugh, putting Waller away with the Penta driver and returning the favour by embarrassing Grayson in front of his hometown. Penta rides the momentum through the end of 2025, picking up more wins on Raw as we head into 2026. In 2026, Penta begins his year by competing in his second Royal Rumble match. This year, it's a very strong showing as he makes the final 3, but unfortunately for Penta, the match is won by CM Punk, who goes on to challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. During the Rumble, Penta eliminates Dirty Dom, who on Raw proceeds to call him out. Dom asks who Penta thinks he is for having the audacity to ruin Dom's WrestleMania plans. After recently losing the Intercontinental Championship, Dom is on a run of bad form, and he viewed the Royal Rumble as his ticket back to the top in WWE. Dom says Penta took the most important thing in his life away from him, which was the main event spot at WrestleMania, and proceeds to promise that he will take away the most important thing in Penta's life, the honour of being a masked luchador. Dom vows to rip off Penta's mask at any means necessary, which he eventually does accomplish after a Judgment Day ambush, as Dom parades around the arena disrespectfully wearing Penta's mask. Adam Pearce is forced to intervene and demands that Dom returns the mask to Penta. Penta soon returns and offers Dom a fair opportunity to legitimately take the mask by facing him at WrestleMania, but only if Dom puts his own pride and joy on the line, his exceptional mullet. The confident Dom accepts the challenge and the match is set for WrestleMania. Penta arrives at his second WrestleMania in his career at WrestleMania 42. He's once again involved in a WrestleMania match with Dom, but this time it's a singles match and it's a whole lot more personal. Dom and Penta have a great hair versus mask match, but in the end it's Penta who secures the victory, meaning Dom has to say goodbye to his hair. After WrestleMania, Penta continues his momentum by entering the recently announced WWE World Cup tournament, the first of its kind to coincide with the FIFA World Cup taking place in Canada, Mexico, and the USA. There is both a men's and women's tournament consisting of 8 superstars from 8 different countries. In the men's tournament, Chad Gable represents the USA, Drew McIntyre represents Scotland, Sheamus represents the Republic of Ireland, the ring general Gunther represents Austria, Sami Zayn represents Canada, Rusev represents Bulgaria, Obafemi represents Nigeria, and lastly, Penta represents Mexico. In the first round, we see Gunther defeat Sami Zayn despite an admirable effort from Zayn. Sheamus would defeat Rusev in a hard-hitting contest. By cheating to win, Drew McIntyre would defeat Obafemi, and lastly, Penta would defeat Chad Gable. In the next round, it would be an absolute war between the ring general Gunther and the Celtic warrior Sheamus. Fans chant banger after banger for Sheamus, but ultimately it's chop after chop as Gunther is able to defeat the veteran Sheamus. Up next, it's Penta versus Drew McIntyre. Drew dominates most of the match, the powerful Scotsman fights dirty and is on track to winning it, but Penta catches Drew off guard, rolling him up in a small package to advance to the final. In the final, it's Penta versus Gunther, Mexico versus Austria, with the WWE World Cup up for grabs. Penta has done exceptionally well to defeat both Chad Gable and Drew McIntyre to reach the final, but now though he has a huge mountain to climb in defeating the ring general, a mountain that he is unfortunately unable to topple as the ring general defeats Penta to win the inaugural WWE World Cup. Despite failing to win the World Cup, Penta's momentum is sky high. However, Penta detours from singles competition into the tag team division as he soon finds himself teaming with his brother Rey Fenix over on SmackDown. Rey Fenix tag team partner Andrade suffered an injury, putting him on the shelf for a number of months, so Penta stepped in to take his place. In 2027, it wouldn't take too long for the well-established Lucha Bros tag team to pick up gold in WWE, as they would win the WWE Tag Team titles at the Royal Rumble. The Lucha Bros are flying high on SmackDown following their title win, but soon Andrade would return to the company, and he would not be too pleased that he was replaced by Penta in his tag team with Rey Fenix. Ultimately, the Lucha Bros would turn heel as the two take out Andrade. A disappointed and shocked Rey Mysterio heads out to check on his friend Andrade, but Penta and Rey Fenix take the assault to Mysterio as well, taking out both their former idol Rey Mysterio and Andrade with a sickening chair assault. The two teams would continue a heated feud over the coming weeks until their eventual clash for the titles. At WrestleMania, the two Lucha teams clash in an all-time match, voted by most as one of the best matches of WrestleMania weekend. In the end, it's actually Andrade and Mysterio who walk away with the tag team gold. The Lucha Bros are not going to back down though, as they push back to win the titles. But first, we get a dream match that many have wanted to see in WWE, as Penta takes on Rey Mysterio in singles competition. The match takes place at Backlash, and it certainly does not disappoint. Penta picks up the win following a Match of the Year candidate, giving the Lucha Bros the much needed momentum as they push to win back the tag team titles. Ultimately, at Money in the Bank, Penta and Rey Fenix would take on Andrade and Rey Mysterio once again, but this time the Lucha Bros would go over, winning back their tag team gold and moving on into the summer as the team to beat once again. Towards the end of the year, Fraxium emerge as the #1 contenders and are determined to win the tag team titles. The two teams enter a best-of-7 series, with the winner of the series being the tag team champions. But ultimately, it's Fraxium's time to hold the gold as they defeat the Lucha Bros and win the best-of-7 series. Following the match, out of pure respect for their opponents, the Lucha Bros shake the hands of Fraxium, signifying their transition back to being babyfaces once again. In 2028, the now babyface Lucha Bros would be traded to Monday Night Raw. Penta and Rey Fenix would inject a pace and athleticism that reinvigorates the Raw Tag Team division. The current Tag Team Champions DIY have ruled the Tag Team division in recent months. The duo are arrogant and egotistical, and they simply claim that they cannot be beaten. The Lucha Bros are not the only team looking to take DIY's titles, as the Motor City Machine Guns are also on DIY's radar. With two potential challengers, Adam Pearce books a triple threat tag team ladder match to take place at WrestleMania 44. DIY will defend against both Motor City Machine Guns and the Lucha Bros for the World Tag Team titles. Ultimately, after an insane spot fest of a ladder match, the Lucha Bros grab the titles and become World Tag Team Champions for the first time. The Lucha Bros would have a great summer following WrestleMania, successfully retaining the titles in epic wars against the likes of the Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, and Angel Umberto. Their most significant challenge, though, comes in the form of the Creed brothers, who at this point are 3-time World Tag Team Champions themselves and think it's about time that they claim the titles once again. The two teams would inevitably clash at SummerSlam, where after a great match, the Creed brothers would defeat the Lucha Bros to end their 4-month reign. But the Lucha Bros wouldn't be without the titles for too long, as they would challenge the Creed brothers at Bad Blood in October, closing out the year with gold around their waist once again, as they would reclaim the titles. In 2029, the second Lucha Bros World Tag Team title run would come to an end after dropping the titles back to the Creed brothers at the Royal Rumble. Following their incredible 2-year tag team run in WWE, with 2 reigns as WWE Tag Team Champions and 2 reigns as World Tag Team Champions, Penta and Rey Fenix begin to tag less frequently, and the two focus more on their singles careers. Penta in particular looks at the Intercontinental Championship as his next goal. The current champion is the ever-arrogant Carmelo Hayes. Penta becomes a #1 contender after winning a fatal 4-way match, confirming a contest for WrestleMania 45, Penta vs Carmelo Hayes for the Intercontinental Championship. The build-up to their WrestleMania match quickly becomes personal, with Carmelo targeting Penta's arm in a sickening ambush with a chair. Penta's arm is in a bad way after the attack, but he still powers through to appear at WrestleMania. Hayes expects Penta to be easy pickings, but Penta refuses to lose, and ultimately, after a memorable singles match, it's Penta who walks out victorious, pinning Carmelo to win the Intercontinental Championship. Following WrestleMania, Penta would head towards the summer as the IC champion, and he would have great matches against Ilya Dragunov at Backlash, where he would retain the title, then again at Money in the Bank, where he would defend the title against Santos Escobar, retaining the title once again. On the same night at Money in the Bank, it would be Andrade who wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, which would be something of huge significance in Penta's near future. It's at SummerSlam though, where Penta is challenged by his own brother, Rey Fenix. Fenix wins a battle royal to become the new #1 contender, and lays out the challenge to his brother, saying, "Let's have the biggest match of both of our careers, brother versus brother, for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam." Penta accepts, and the match between brothers is set. It's a great match between the two, but shockingly, Penta drops the title to Rey Fenix. Everyone doubted Fenix, but in the end, he proved the doubters wrong and was able to defeat his brother. After the match, Penta is devastated about the loss, but despite that, he does shake his brother's hand and acknowledges him as the better man on this night. The same night that Penta dropped the title, the Money in the Bank holder Andrade cashed in on the current champion Austin Theory to become World Heavyweight Champion. As we approach the final months of the year, the heel World Heavyweight Champion Andrade, managed again by Zelina Vega, is set to face the Intercontinental Champion Rey Fenix at Survivor Series in a winner-takes-all contest where both of Raw's men's singles titles are on the line. The rivalry between Andrade and Fenix soon turns from competitive and somewhat respectful to deeply personal. Andrade assaults Fenix following a segment between the two champions, which ultimately causes Penta to get involved. Penta interrupts Andrade on the mic, promising to get some retribution for his brother. But Andrade is not as hostile to Penta as you would expect. Instead, Andrade tries to manipulate Penta into thinking that his own brother betrayed him by stealing his IC title. He says Fenix was jealous of Penta's success and that he did nothing of significance following their tag team run, and he decided it was time to steal Penta's title. Now Penta is the one doing nothing, wasting away in the mid-card. Ultimately, after months of manipulation from Zelina and Andrade, Penta makes a massive decision. At Survivor Series in November, Rey Fenix and Andrade clash for both the Intercontinental Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship in a double championship match. Penta has been Fenix's biggest supporter through all of his turmoil with Andrade, but during the winner-takes-all championship match, as Rey Fenix looks to be on track for victory, Penta betrays his own brother, attacking him during the no disqualification contest, allowing Andrade to land his finish to win the title. After the match, Penta is visibly conflicted, kind of in shock with what he has done, but Andrade continues his manipulation tactics, telling Penta to break free from the shared Lucha Bros spotlight and put his brother through a table. Penta goes through with it and slams Fenix through the table, and Andrade welcomes Penta into his own little faction, what he refers to as the Idol Dynasty. The group soon becomes a force on Raw, with the dual champion Andrade pretty much untouchable now that Penta is by his side. In 2030, Penta continues to be manipulated by Andrade, and he says that the Idol Dynasty is his true family. Penta and Rey Fenix would clash at the Royal Rumble in their second brother versus brother match in WWE. During the match, Andrade tells Penta to hit the Penta driver on the floor at ringside, but Penta is completely conflicted. He doesn't really want to do it, but he also sees Andrade as his family now. Ultimately, he decides not to land a Penta driver at ringside and instead throws Fenix back into the ring, where he would hit the Penta driver in the center of the ring to win the match. After the match is over, Penta leaves the ring, but Andrade is not happy with the level of punishment that was put out on Fenix, so he decides to do it himself. However, Penta hesitates for a moment, but ultimately deciding to save his brother from Andrade as a fight breaks out between the two before Penta clears Andrade from the ring. The next month, Rey Fenix gets his shot at the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber, but this time though, he has his brother Penta back in his corner. Penta makes everything right with his brother, as he's there to guide Fenix to winning back his IC title. The Lucha Bros embrace after the match, as Penta apologises to his brother and raises his hand. All that's left now is for Penta to get his hands on the man who manipulated him and pushed him to act so uncharacteristically. Penta is determined to ruin Andrade and to take his world title, WrestleMania 46. It's Penta versus Andrade for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It all comes down to this: months and years of backstabbing, manipulation, and sheer hatred between these two. Their rivalry started way back in 2027, when Penta was the one who turned on Andrade, but now 3 years later, Penta is the babyface and Andrade is the despicable heel champion. Ultimately, Penta gives it everything he has to take down the World Heavyweight Champion, finally achieving his destiny as he lands a Penta driver and becomes the World Heavyweight Champion. Penta reclaims his honour and in the process brings the reign of the Idol Dynasty to its end. And that's where we'll end this 5-year simulation for Penta. If you did enjoy this video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel if you are new. If you do want to support my channel, you can do so by joining as a channel member and gaining early access to my new videos, along with a few other great perks. As always, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know who you want to see featured next. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.